Hello everybody, working on a 2015 Mustang EcoBoost Premium. Common issue on these cars is that the heated and cooled seats stop working. Watch a video on how to fix it by using a new plug, and I'll link that below. But I was going to try to fix it with just a couple dollars worth of parts from O'Reilly's. The issue is that this plug burns up on the ground wire. You can see it's burnt there. Luckily did not catch fire. So I have these little pieces from O'Reilly's. They are gold plated disconnects, 18 to 22 gauge. And they just happen to fit right on the little prongs there. And my plan right now is to add a second ground wire to share the amperage to hopefully lessen the stress on the plug. But I have to find a way to pass it through this plug. That one right next to the burned out one is not used. So hopefully I can probably drill through both of those to make room for these plugs to pass through. If that doesn't work, I'm not too worried about it, because then what I'll do is I'll take this plug off and just wire each of these in and basically make my own new plug. And this little computer setup, it attaches right to the bottom of the seat. It's pretty easy to get off. You have two what is that, a T20 Torx bit, and I just used it in a wrench like this and a ratchet like this to give me the best access to it. But I'm gonna see if I can't drill through that plug after the battery's disconnected, of course, and see if that doesn't fix my issue. Okay, I wanted to share how it turned out. I had said in the previous video that I was going to add an extra ground connector there to share the amperage. But when I drilled out this plug, it ate into the socket next to it a little more than I was comfortable with. So I decided to just go with one plug, because if I ruin any of these others, I'll ruin the whole connector. That one next to it, like I said earlier, just happens to be a blank. So that was fortunate. I used a 1/4 inch drill bit. I used a smaller one to knock the wire out, and then a 1/4 inch to drill the hole. I measured this little connector. One here. It's like this. No, not that one. This one. A little bit smaller and gold plated. Measured the diameter. It turned out to be a 1/4 inch, so that's the drill bit I used. Then used some disconnects to connect to the wiring harness into my splice wire. I used a wire that was just a step bigger than the wire in the harness. I don't know what the harness is, but this was 14 gauge. So then I plugged it all back together and it worked. I tested the seats, it worked fine. So that is how to fix your heated and cooled seats in a 2015 Mustang Premium. I think it also is the same for the 16, I believe in 17 Ford fixed this issue. electrical tape here, a correct way to do it would be to use a straight connector and some heat shrink tubing, but I did not have either of those, so I'm going with a disconnect and some electrical tape. Should suffice. Now that I've got that done up nice and tidy, find a way to tuck it back here where it'll be out of sight, out of mind, unless it catches fire. Probably gonna buy a fire extinguisher in the next few days, put in here just to be safe. Now that that's tucked away, I'll clean up all my tools, vacuum out my small bits of mess I made, and should have heated and cooled seats. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them in the comments below. Hopefully you found this helpful.